well-intentioned as it is, my big fear about digital photography and cell phone photography is someday that they will just say, you know, we don't want you guys going out there. We've got a sergeant who's really good with a cell phone camera. He's going to email you some photos. And I think that a lot of times they feel like if they allow this pack of photographers in there to run amok, it's going to cause them more trouble than not. But I think in the long run, what happens is the story doesn't get told completely. It doesn't get told well enough for all the people who are involved. Something gets left out. And there is this sort of, there is a sense that all you want is a photograph and we can get you one, okay? And we'll somehow or another we'll email it to you or something like that. And it happens, it has happened long before digital photography. You go to a forest fire and somebody comes, a policeman comes along, grabs a guy in a plaid shirt and says, don't let anybody pass this point. You drive up, you say you're with the media, and he says, well, I can't let anybody go past this point. So, you know, you have to find your way around that. You have to work with the authorities. You have to get around these restrictions and make your case for the media that it needs to be there to represent the people so they get the true story, they get the whole story, they get not just the photo that sergeant with a cell phone wants to give you, or the neighbor who happens to have a cell phone gives you. You want to get, you want to work with the photographer, get out into the fire, cover it as best you can, and give people the story that you think. I said the story that they deserve to see in their morning news. So my fear here is with digital photography is that it becomes like this class that where you give all the kids a camera and they run around and take a bunch of pictures and you publish the best of those pictures. It works for a while. It's kind of an interesting concept, but it's not necessarily the best way to tell a story.
Can I just say one little thing? I think that there's a bigger, kind of more organic problem with the fact that huge concentrations of media power by fewer companies, enormous amount of competition for dollars, and that what used to actually be seen as journalism or news gathering is now just another way to try and sell soap. And I don't think that does us. I mean, as a still photographer, I'm embarrassed by what the, by and large, the Wolf Blitzer and Anderson Cooper people, like that's what people see as the media now, because they're there, they're in your face, they're around every day. But in all of these places where the star system has kind of come into play, the story becomes less important to them than their own star. So that's where, we who are trying to like hang on to whatever rights we have to operate as independent journalists, or even if we're working for somebody, but we live in this atmosphere where the commercialization of the whole news delivery system has created this thing where the story is not as important as the people bringing it to you. And that does not exactly bode well when it comes down to crunch time to be allowed to operate freely as a reporter.